Fancy another one?
Do you want me to rap anyone? Lift the mood a bit?
No, we don't. You can! You can do it, you can!
Faithful, 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 faithful. Not sure. Traitor.
I'm going to find me, Darren!
Go away, you adulterer!
Absolutely.
You adulterer!
I was coming back here to tell you that I loved you.
Hello everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to Unscripted, the reality TV podcast with your host Josh.
Russell.
And Tyler.
Good evening.
And we are really excited to be back again this week with you. Unfortunately, we have dropped off the charts. I think that's the elephant in the room to address. We are no longer on the charts. I did find out, we were informed why we were on the charts. We were kind of deluded in being in the charts thinking that it was because everyone was listening to us. But it's actually because it's kind of based on a percentage increase, how you get onto the charts.
We started at 0 and we've gone to 100 in a week.
And that's an increase of 1,000%.
Apparently it's also like, because we had like the reviews come in the first few weeks. I think like, because that also went from 0 to whatever it is now, then that also like boosted us. So if you guys like who are listening just want to give us a review and get us back on the charts, like you're welcome to.
Please do, because we would love to find ourselves back there one day.
And I'd also like you to be honest. Like, if you think it's a 1-star podcast, give us 1 star.
What we were talking about is how it doesn't really matter where we are on the charts. It doesn't really matter how many people listen. It's kind of, this is what we really find really fun. We love talking about this stuff. So we just thought, why not put a microphone
in my heart, we are number one. That's what matters.
It's been a long time coming. We've been in front of our TVs watching reality shows since we were born. I mean, tunnel vision, wasn't it?
Since we were born.
Genuinely tunnel vision. Like, the only thing we wanted to get into when we were older was.
Well, I'll tell you a memory of mine. I have like real strong memories of being like probably 7 or 8 years old, and I was in bed and I could hear my parents downstairs watching I'm a Celebrity, and I was just like, I was meant to be asleep, and I was just like, I need to be watching this. I need to go downstairs, and so I crept downstairs and was like, oh, I can't sleep, like. Pulling that one, and they were like, oh, you can come sit with us for a bit. And there I was, and I looked over to the TV, and it was I'm a Celebrity eating trial.
Was that where?
I think that was where my love started.
Well, I think that kind of proves that when you are a reality TV whore, you always know you are, even from a young age.
Exactly.
I remember very distinctly having huge arguments with my parents because they would make me go to sleep on a Sunday night before the X Factor results show. And it was hard because either I would have to watch on Monday morning when I woke up to find out who went out on the X Factor, or I would have to risk going to school and getting it spoiled for me. And to hear that Matt Cardle got through another week in year 5 ruined my whole week because I wanted to find out myself. So I really, I think we all kind of knew from a young age.
I was probably similar to you, and X Factor was my start, really. Alexandra Burke, I think, might have been my first year. Do you know what was really sad, though? You mentioned, like, the results thing, getting it spoiled. It got to a point where we're talking 2017, 2018, and we were at school, and you actually wouldn't hear spoilers anymore, because no one apart from us was watching it. It was disappointing, but, we started off, and we'll always be gurus, so... It's been an amazing week of reality TV, guys, isn't it?
Oh, wow, it has. Do you know what that means?
I think it means reality recap.
How reality recap works is that each of us pick our favourite moment from the week of reality TV and share it with the rest of the group. Who wants to start?
Russell?
Go on then, because I might as well take you back to the start of the week. Monday night, Love Island All Stars is back. Well, not back. All Stars is the first season of All Stars, so it's not actually back. But obviously, a lot of ex-Islanders are coming to the villa, and the big talking point, I think, from episode 1 was the shock. I literally was screaming in my room at about 10:30 at night. Genuinely, could not believe my eyes, even though this is reality TV. And we saw Callum from Winter Love Island 2020 come in as a late bombshell at the end of the episode. We thought maybe he'd be coupling up with a girl and stealing a girl from a guy. And then straight after Callum comes in his ex-girlfriend, Molly, from the same season, and they've been together for 3.5 years since Love Island. They split up recently. I didn't even know they split up, and then I just could not see that coming. I was like, absolutely, I was just gasping.
Credit to the producers, because they knew how to kick off the season. Like, that was an incredible start. My jaw was literally on the floor when it was going on. Firstly, I didn't realise that they broke up, so when I saw Callum come in, I was shocked because I thought that they were still together, probably because they did become a bit irrelevant. And then secondly, my shock was doubled even further when I saw his ex-girlfriend come in, because I went through the stages of them breaking up and then her being on the screen again.
You went through the 5 stages of grief.
Exactly. Literally there and then on Monday night, went through the 5 stages of grief, didn't know what to think. But I agree with you. What really are they doing there? And also, the producers do need to send them on a date, but I think they should probably just send them on a date to a therapist's office. I think what I've realised as the weeks progress is that they probably actually did break up. At first I thought it was staged. I think a lot of people seem to think that it was staged and they just came in to get back together. But the arguments and the conversations they've had are making me think that it was a real breakup.
Like the argument they had in front of the group, that just kind of made me feel very uncomfortable. I felt like I shouldn't be listening. It's something that needed to happen, obviously. They need to clear the air, but it just didn't feel to me like I should be watching that and everyone surrounding them should have been hearing that.
I think convenience could come into it though. If neither of them are finding love in the villa, there's still a chance they just do couple up and they might act up in front of the cameras and see if they can get to the final and win it. Because at the moment, Molly doesn't seem interested in Chris, right?
No, she's not.
She's given up on that, and I don't think she doesn't seem ready yet. I don't think.
Maybe
to be with someone.
Let's talk about the downfall of Chris, because he was on the first day had 3 girls standing next to him. Skip to the end of the week at the recoupling, he's the last one to get picked.
Yeah, wow, that is serious fall off.
Serious fall off, and I think what do you think it comes down to? Why do you think he's fallen off so hard? So hard.
He's
extremely hard.
I don't know. He's a bit. I really liked him when he was on a few years ago, and he's not really changed that much. But I don't know what it is. I feel like he puts himself out there as a bit of a weird, funny guy, but I don't know how attractive it is for the girls.
He's
it
just
feels like more of a friend figure.
He's trying to be the quirky one, whereas do you know what? He is genuinely a funny guy. But I just think maybe he's doing it a bit too much, and it's kind of putting the girls off a bit.
Yeah, I think he's losing his appeal ever so slightly, and I hope he gets it back.
Yeah, I don't think his flirt.
Do you think we should move on to our next moment of the week?
Before we get into my favourite moment of the week, we just want to quickly address something that I'm sure you've all noticed. We aren't in all black. And that was a serious miscommunication from our side, and we are seriously, really, really sorry.
Our queen has sadly passed away, and we're paying our respect, but sadly we forgot the memo.
Yeah.
I felt a bit numb actually this week from the news. It's been very hard to digest.
Grief comes in stages, so we'll all get there eventually. But I guess that segues on nicely to my top moment from the week, and that's going to be the funeral of Diane, of our Diane.
What a send-off.
Only she could have a send-off like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of thinking that what if it had turned out that she wasn't the one that was murdered, and that was a funeral for someone like Evie? It just wouldn't have been the same.
No, I wouldn't have wanted to see that. So I think what I want to talk about this moment is that you've just got so many layers as to why this was genuinely one of the best TV moments of all time. So firstly, you've just got the confusion and the chaos of the whole situation. When the traitors killed Diane, they seriously thought she wasn't going to show up the next morning. So to see Miles' face when he walked in that fateful morning, I've never seen eyes like it. His eyes just completely widened. He was so shocked, so confused, so terrified that she is genuinely immortal.
I think he thought he saw a ghost.
He did see a ghost.
I mean, yeah, he did.
He literally saw a ghost. And I think what was so good about that is that the traitors always seem kind of in control of the game. Whether or not they're being targeted or attacked, one thing they have control over is the murders. They know that's the done deal, I'm going to murder someone and then that's going to get done. So to see Diane be the one to throw them off their balance and kind of rattle them because they were not expecting her to see in the morning, I just thought was the first layer of why her death was just so amazing. Number 2, you've got the revival of creative missions. As I said last week, I thought that all the tasks were completely rubbish, but this task was just like perfect in every sense of the word. Firstly, you've got Claudia dressed in her funeral attire with her stick, with that stance. I mean, to see that, shivers got sent down my spine immediately. And also, the way I was on the edge of my seat that whole task, it was foreign to me. I've never been on the edge of my seat during any task ever before. But for some reason, this task just had me.
We even knew the outcome of what was going to happen at the end. But still, it was gripping.
It was so gripping. And I kind of think what was so good about the task was, firstly, we got to savour, every last moment of Diane being on our screens.
Yeah.
It was perfect to just be able to, walk with her to her send-off. But secondly, I think why this mission was better than any other mission is because it actually meant something. It actually impacted the game.
Yeah.
When it's just a money mission, everyone's bored. Everyone's so bored. And when there's actually some tangible
implication on the rest of the game. So, I mean, we obviously saw her, mention to Paul, saying, "Oh, if it's me, I think it could be Miles." And then, we saw what happened next. Miles was then banished later on. Even just like small hints along the way can really make a difference to the rest of the game.
Yeah, they really need to revive these missions and kind of take note from the producers on that episode and really translate that kind of production to all missions across the series. But kind of in general, I think that there needs to be like a full renaissance of tasks across all reality TV shows. I know I said last week potentially some like Big Brother, Love Island are better, but then I actually sat down and thought about it, and I just think all tasks across all reality TV shows seriously lack any substance.
You do. Love Island, I often skip through the challenges unless it's one which is like the tweets or something they've said. The majority of the challenges I just have no interest in.
Why do I care about you sliding down a water
And
slide?
looking sexy, yeah. it's come on.
It's not
Had enough of that.
interesting.
The Big Brother shopping tasks used to be good, but apart from that, I think that's all gone downhill as well. But that, yeah, as you said, this week was definitely a lot better. Even the task on Friday's episode, was it, with the shooting, and they had to shoot down the person they didn't want to get the shield, which was a little bit like the concept wasn't bad.
It was a bit more interesting where they actually had to go for each other, but yeah, I mean it was better than others. It was definitely better than others.
It is weird that the most suspenseful moments in the show have been things we've known about. The Diane thing, for example, obviously we knew she was getting murdered, and yet the funeral, just all the proceedings were just the most dramatic things we've ever seen.
Well, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head of the premise of the show, why it's so successful, is because the viewers do know more. So if you look at The Mole, which was a reality show where it's kind of like the Traitors, but then you don't know who the traitors are, as opposed to the Traitors where the viewers know who the traitors are and you kind of have that insight that the players in the game don't have. Mm-hmm. I think that's what makes the show so successful. I think I've read something that they struggled a lot to get this format, going because producers and all the execs at all these production companies thought it would make for boring TV because it's already spoiled for us. But I think that's what's so great about it, is that we get to the tension gets to be built, and we kind of know more than what
it's about watching. We know who the traitors are, but it's about them watching them try to figure it out. And when you see that someone's so far off and watching the traitors deceive, it's everything about it. Even that it's not about knowing who it is, it's about watching the dynamics unfold.
So yeah, just to kind of wrap up my moment, I would say the whole thing was just beyond appropriate. If Diane was to have been murdered in a conventional way, I think that would have been a travesty. I think there would have been thousands of Ofcom complaints. I think it really softened the blow that she was murdered in that way. I'm really grateful.
She had basically a whole episode just about her, and that's what she deserved. I mean, she could have had a whole series just about her, which, I mean, it kind of is turning into.
Well,
interesting.
I've heard that her and Ross are going to go on, is it called Race Around the World?
Really?
Oh, really? Is that true?
Apparently,
I'd be excited.
Apparently, that's made by the same production company as the Traitors, and it's like duos.
Yeah.
So people are saying that they might be on that, which I think would be great.
I haven't. I've only watched I've never properly watched it. I've seen the odd episode, but if they're on it, I'll be tuning in.
100%.
Oh my gosh, sign me up.
Sneaky. Right.
I think my favourite moment of the week was the pure drama of Paul's exit of the Traitors and Paul's downfall. I mean, that was seriously some of the it's just amazing TV, everything about it. But I think what was so interesting about Paul's journey throughout the Traitors was that he really built up this villain character that the others have gone into the interviews and come off a lot friendlier and been I just had to do it for the game. But Paul would go into the interviews and be like, I wanted to do this, I want to murder them.
He was borderline psychopathic.
Psychopathic, but he was the ultimate villain. And I watched the Traitors Uncloaked, and on that he said throughout his time when he'd have his spare time, he was reading American Psycho. So he was really getting in the character of that person who has no thought for anyone else.
I also heard him say that he would have never turned on Harry. That's someone he would have never turned on. Do we believe that?
I think it would have got to a point where he would have maybe backed one fellow traitor, maybe towards the end.
I just think...
You can share a prize pot, you still get money.
I just think if he wouldn't have quickly turned on Harry trying to get him out, but as soon as he saw a couple people being suspicious of Harry, he would have jumped on the bandwagon and got him out as quick as he could.
And I think all that's, Paul's exit has really set up nicely this new group of traitors, which I'm excited to see how they interact with each other. And, I love how Diane, even though she's out of the show, is still the most relevant character in it.
She is really, taking control of the grave from beyond the grave.
That would be the most satisfying way for the show to end, for Ross to avenge Diane's death, win all the money, and then reveal, once he's won all the money, that Diane's his mum, and then she walks down the stairs and just and
crowns him.
I'm fascinated to see how it develops. I can't believe it's the last week.
Only 3 more episodes. What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna talk about, guys? I think we're on borrowed time.
I need more Traitors. I just want that going on throughout my life, just as a constant.
Maybe we should just rent out a place for the weekend and try host a game or something.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Traitors, brought to you by Unscripted Podcasts, is on the horizon.
DM for inquiries.
In the works.
This section is where we read out fan theories, predictions and opinions and discuss them between ourselves, see what we think. So, I'm going to start with something about Jazz.
Okay.
So, someone said, if I was Jazz and I had the heat on me at tomorrow's roundtable, my plan would be extremely simple. All he has to say is, if I was a traitor and I've been gunning for Paul since week 1, how on earth would I be able to stand with him every single night and keep going for him without hell breaking loose? Jazz is the obvious faithful on paper, given how long he's been on Paul, even more than Harry.
That is a very good point.
Because if you're a traitor and you turn on another traitor, the reality is that you're not going to do that throughout the entire show. No. Otherwise, think about how awkward it's going to be in those times when you meet up later in the evening.
He has made his suspicions clear of Paul since one of the first round tables. People know that he's been saying his name. So where you see the traitors turn on each other, they're pretty much they only turn when they know that they're going to be going out, when they know that they've got people on the side. Whereas Jazz has gone for Paul when no one else was saying Paul. So that does make it quite clear that he's faithful.
Okay. So I found a comment talking about Andrew, who has been flying under the radar a bit. This person said, I love out of his depth Andrew. Every time the camera cuts to him and his slightly panicked face, I can't help but simultaneously laugh and say, oh, poor Andrew. I hope he stumbles his way into a win. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Ross and Andrew won it? Arguably 2 of the most incompetent players stumbling their way to victory. And Andrew's given me flashbacks to Meryl from last year because he I don't think he's got much for Scooby at the moment. And he actually could get to the final. That's the thing. He's not, I don't think, playing a great game in my opinion, but he could get to the final.
I actually don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's hard for him to, as we saw with Kieran last year, it's hard to become a traitor late on in the game and not change the way you act. But I actually think he's obviously struggled at the start, but I think he could grow into it. And I think him and Harry get on quite well. And Harry knows that he's not a threat to Harry, but he's also someone that he could take with him. And people aren't really suspicious of him. So I could actually see a world where it's Andrew and Harry win it at the end and Ross is kicked out by them two.
Yeah, I don't really agree with the Meryl and Andrew comparison. I think Meryl genuinely got every single thing she ever did wrong.
I think Kieran is the stronger comparison to Andrew.
I'm gonna go for another one.
I've got another one. Someone said, I heard that after you get dumped on Love Island, all islanders are placed into a giant meat grinder and used to feed the surviving cast.
Wow, I mean that is, it's possible though. That what happens to, obviously they all become influencers after.
Yeah.
So is that like clones of them that become the influencers? Maybe they're holograms.
Yeah.
And the real people go into the meat grinder, and that's, we never see the people in Love Island eat really. Maybe a bit of yogurt in the morning, but maybe that's because their lunch and dinner is, a Molly May sandwich.
So another one that I've got here is someone said that based on the current cast of All Stars, they're going to go out on a limb and say that they were very limited in who they could cast because so many people said no. There's no reason why they've centered the show around such a boring couple like Callum and Molly. Callum is attractive, but he literally brings nothing else to the table and is horrible TV. Molly is okay, but she was a Casa girl and people barely remember who she is. So, okay, this person seems to really not be big fans of Callum and Molly. But I think, their delivery was harsh, but potentially what they're saying is true. Have they just tried it with all these other islanders and this is just their backup list?
I thought that. I think they've definitely gone for bigger fish. They've gone for, surely they would have wanted like if they got Toby, they would have wanted Chloe in there as well.
They've gone for Anna Vakili. I saw her on a podcast talking about how she got asked to do it, but she turned it down.
Yeah,
Maura.
Maura did it, said in an interview, she said she wouldn't do it, she wouldn't go back. I think for the people who have been more successful, there's no reason for them to go back. They don't need it, they've moved on. Whereas the people who haven't been quite as successful in the same way, they maybe think this is a good opportunity to get back their relevancy.
I don't think it's a bad cast though. There definitely could have been more rogue shouts. I think pretty much most of the people in there were like OGs or they were there for a while. We don't have people who were in Casa Amor for 3 days, like Beelers and Navinas.
You say that, and you say it's not a bad cast, but to be honest with you, the only really significant moment of drama for me was in that first episode, and since then I haven't been moved. Yeah, there's been a few little arguments like Lewis and Mitch last night, but where's the incredible TV? I know it's the first week, but because they all, I'm getting a feeling that because they all know each other so well and they have these brands on the outside that they need to protect, are we going to get this raw Love Island that we all love and these really crazy moments, because the stakes aren't as high for them because they understand that it is just a TV show, because they know the other side of it.
And even when we saw Josh come in and pull people for the date, everyone who we brought on a date he already knew, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm meeting this person for the first time, how are we going to interact? They already knew how they were going to interact because they've met many times before.
Yeah. Why didn't they do, my Jama, you should listen to this, why don't you do half All-Stars, half new people?
That would be interesting.
That's probably a bit better than what they've got on at the moment.
At the moment it feels like a bit like X on the Beach, to be honest.
Okay, what do you think about this? So someone said the 3 traitors they've got so far have been because the other traitors have stitched them up and led the charge against them. The Faithfuls themselves haven't actually sniffed a traitor out yet. When Claudia mentioned that the Faithfuls are becoming great detectives, it's not true, because the traitors' only real threat has been themselves.
Clever from Claudia, isn't it?
What I thought about this series compared to the last is that the traitors have been in complete control of everything that happens in the game. Whereas last time it felt like when the Faithfuls would catch on, then the traitors would join in. But actually it has been solely Paul and Harry sowing the seeds of the other traitors to get them out.
I guess Jazz had suspicions of Paul, but
But
obviously Harry still
but-
sort of went for Paul.
His suspicions are there, but they haven't actually had a tangible impact to what has happened throughout the game. The only people who have really impacted the game so far are the traitors, and that's interesting.
Yeah, the traitors have been able to take control, sow the seeds, and get people out when they want to get them out.
So, how we're going to finish this week's episode is we are going to play a little game. We each have a reality TV personality in mind, and we are going to give 5 facts about this person to the group, and whoever guesses first, I guess, wins.
Yeah, I'm happy to start. Okay, so my first clue is this person had an affair with their best friend's wife.
Well, this is good.
Do you have any guesses?
An affair with a best friend's wife. Who would do such a thing?
Do you have a guess? You can either guess or pass. Josh?
Okay. Go for
My
it.
guess is, what's his name? He was on Celebrity Big Brother and he was a footballer. Is Jamie
O'Hara.
O'Hara?
It is not Jamie
Wow,
O'Hara.
that's a good guess. You're going down the football.
Russell, do you have a guess?
I'm going to go with. I'm just going to whack a name out, which is not going to be right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry because you seem like a really nice guy. Carl Fogarty.
It's not Carl Fogarty. Okay, my next clue is this person has featured on shows in the UK and US.
Is it Callum Best?
It's not Callum Best. It's not a bad guess.
I'm just going to go with Heidi from Heidi and Spencer.
No, it's not Heidi from Heidi and Spencer.
I thought it was a man.
It is a man.
Oh yeah, no, because it could be a
yeah,
lesbian.
Well, yeah, it could be, but it's not. The next clue is this person is 64 years of age.
So, the likelihood is, I mean, reality TV in its pomp has been around the last like 10, 15 years. So, we're probably looking at someone who's on reality when they were like in their 40s or 50s.
I'm guessing someone who was on Big Brother.
Do you think that
Yeah.
age is just giving you and the fact that they had an affair?
Fair, and that they've been on US shows as well.
Who was that guy who was on I'm a Celeb? Was he called like David Emanuel?
It's not David Emanuel.
Oh my god.
I will say it's your. Don't think too niche.
Yeah. I'm just trying to fill the time.
David Emanuel.
Not fill the time. Get
No, I've got no guess for this.
Okay, my next clue is this person was 45th on the Forbes Celebrity Rich List in 2020.
Okay, so it's a household name.
Is it
Successful person.
Duncan Bannatyne?
It's not Duncan Valentine.
That's a guess.
That is not a bad guess.
Chris Eubank?
It's not Chris Eubank. He would be rich.
One more.
Okay, I think this is my last one, so I'm just going to say whoever can get it first, whoever can get the name out first, I think you should be able to get it from this. This person has a son called Eric.
Oh my gosh! The X Factor judge.
Simon
Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell. It's Simon
Oh.
Cowell.
What was he on? Oh,
He's got.
I wasn't thinking
got,
judges.
like Pop Idol, X America's Got Talent.
Mm.
He's a big name in America.
I didn't like that
It
one.
was misleading.
I
It wasn't
loved
a
it.
contestant.
That's
Very
good, that's
good.
good.
Very good.
Should we move on to my guess who?
Yeah, we can give it a go.
Clue number 1 to my reality star. This star was born in Stoke-on-Trent.
I think the only person I know that was born in Stoke-on-Trent is Robbie Williams. So I'm going to go with him.
I'm trying to think who
No.
sounds like they're born in Stoke-on-Trent. Like maybe like Mitch from Love Island kind of sounds like he was born in Stoke-on-Trent.
Do you want to go
Does
with
it not?
Mitch from Love Island?
Yeah, I'll go with Mitch.
Not
No.
my guess.
Number 2. Before their reality debut, they had a relationship with Emily Parker from Dancing on Ice in 2016.
I have no idea who
No idea
Emily
who that
Parker
is.
is.
Well, she was on Dancing on Ice. I expect a little bit better from you.
Adam Collard.
Nope.
No. Jake Quickenden.
No. This
That's
reality
like-
star made their debut on a reality show on the launch of that season, and they made it to the final. So they were there from the start to the end of the
Okay.
season of the show. Not necessarily season 1.
You know, apparently in Stoke-on-Trent they have like the world's best toilet museum.
Interesting. Maybe we should go visit. Do a
Because
little
my
vlog.
teacher,
You're full of shit, just like the museum. Sorry.
my geography teacher, my old geography teacher was from Stoke-on-Trent. He always used to talk about the toilet museum. So
It's fascinating stuff.
Clue number 4. This reality star has a sibling who has appeared on I'm a Celebrity?
Curtis Pritchard. No, it's not.
Oh dear.
It's not.
I was going to say...
Would you like to give that as your guess?
Oh, I didn't mean to say it.
I was
it's
gonna
my
say-
guess. I've said it now.
I was
didn't
going to
mean
say...
Is that your guess?
No. But I've said it.
Can
so
I
I feel like
say-
I can't take it back.
I think it's Ryan Thomas.
No!
Is it Adam Thomas?
No!
Scott Thomas.
We're going to have to give one more clue. This reality star's debut was in the summer of 2019.
Summer of 2019. It's going to be Love Island. And that was Molly May's season. You have got Curtis.
You want to say it, don't you?
And Maura.
You seem
It's
really
not.
keen.
It's not. Because his brother wasn't on I'm a Celebrity.
Was he not?
Is it?
Is that your guess?
Yes.
Wait, I'm
Fine,
trying
I'll just say yes because I need. It's not though.
You are correct! Oh my god!
When was AJ on I'm a
AJ
Celebrity?
You made me think it wasn't.
Oh
Was
my god, that
AJ
is
on I'm a
amazing.
Celebrity?
AJ was on I'm a Celeb in like 2021 or something.
Oh my god, he was in the Wales. Is like the stupid.
Oh, I
Wales
just
one.
Watch the Wales
Oh
my
my
god!
Oh,
that
I
was
said
such
it.
good.
But you made me think because you said like, is that your guess? Like you made me think it wasn't. Oh.
Okay, let me see mine now.
That's actually good though.
I got it actually. I got it after that clue, and then I just thought.
Okay.
Josh, yeah.
Now for my guess who. She was born as Patricia Mary Mackenzie.
Is it Megan from Love Island? What's her name? Megan.
Barton Hanson?
Yeah.
No. She performed as Cinderella's ugly stepsister in her first pantomime performance.
Have you got it?
No, Amy Hart definitely wouldn't have been. She was in theatre, wasn't she?
Is your guess
I think
Amy
so.
Hart?
No, but she wasn't theatre. No, she's 100% not my guess.
What's
There's no way she's born
what's the
Patricia.
name? Patricia.
Mary Mackenzie.
Amy Hart definitely hasn't changed her name, but she was in theatre. Amy Hart.
No.
Christopher Biggins.
No. She finished as a runner-up on I'm a Celeb.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Is it Fleur East?
Bro.
Oh gosh.
She has made various guest appearances on GB News. You're under a time pressure.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Do you want the final clue?
Oh, Georgie Porter.
No, it's gonna be someone more obvious than that.
Okay, do you want your final clue?
Yeah.
She famously shouted the phrase on national television, which can be deciphered from animal organ feces.
Oh my god, it's Kim Woodburn.
It was a great game. I
think we
enjoyed
should-
that.
I think I enjoyed that as well. I think we're going to make that a regular on
Yeah,
the
I
show.
think we should do it. Okay, that was good fun.
I enjoyed that one.
Also, listeners, you can play along with that one at home.
Any like suggestions for us? Like send them in. Maybe we'll give it a go.
If you're not getting at least 1 out of 3 once you've had all 5 clues, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast. I don't think it's for you.
Or you could be listening as a learning experience.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
true,
It's
so true, yeah.
We don't want to like send people away. Like if
Yeah.
you're giving it a go, then I appreciate that.
This is a TV and film podcast, but also an educational podcast.
Definitely educational.
That's a good point.
There's
At
a lot
one
to
point,
learn.
we were above Duolingo in the charts. No, I've just made that up. Clearly, I didn't think we were. Okay, so I think that's all for this week, guys.
Yeah, I've had good fun.
Great
I've had
pod.
great fun. I think it's a bittersweet week next week. We've got the final of the Traitors,
my
but you know what that means. That means we're going to have to really find something else to occupy our time.
The Apprentice is coming back. Are we interested?
We definitely will be
watching.
there. I mean, to not have Claudia Winkleman on our TVs will be hard, but
But Claude is back.
Claude Littner can make up for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. From Claudia to Claude.
If any listeners have got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section on our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter as well.
Yeah. That's all for this week, guys. See you.
See ya!
Bye.